So this is Bam Electric Ghost, and we're talking about sonic overexposure, overdose, TF, and other sordid tales. So the song Overdose TF is something we've been working on. We have a song called Overload TF. And what we've been doing is been playing with our sonic playground of the Moog GrandMother, which is a semi-modular synth with a Fartar keypad. What's cool about it is it's got all these modular patch points. And if you're into modular synthesis, you understand that allows you to kind of reinvent your sound palette like every time you approach the synth. So in this particular song, what we're doing is we're kind of taking a hybrid of digital and analog capabilities. So we're using a Roland Juno GI through MIDI to trigger a Moog Mother 32. Now you would think that some of the lead and bass sounds are coming from the GrandMother, and they are, but the majority of the lead and bass is coming from the Mother 32, which we have being manipulated by a Make Noise Math module, which allows us to add exponential and logarithmic controlled voltage processing to the signal, which basically adds additional low-frequency oscillators to that single path. So you get a very fat sound. It's a very prog rock type of sound we've got going on with this particular patch, which is very, very, very interesting because we got the GrandMother and it's got the keyboard, but a lot of times our leads are actually come from the Mother 32. We do a lot of percussion and a lot of rhythm sequencing and using their really powerful sequencer on the GrandMother, but we like using the lead manual playing of the Mother 32 connected through MIDI to our Juno. So that gives us a different type of approach than what you would think we would do. The other thing that's interesting is, again, the BeatStep Pro we've been using for years with the JDXI to create drum beats. And then on top of that, we started using the DFAM. Now, but this particular song, like I said, the Moog patch is set to a kind of 1 o'clock frequency, and then it's got like the VCO wave is the triangle. The pulse width is pretty much all the way to the left. The mix is set to VCO. The cutoff is around, it's probably around 200, a little bit more than 200 hertz, and the resonance is turned all the way to the right-hand side. The VCA mode is the EG, and the volume is kind of mid, 3/4 of the way to the 12 o'clock. And then we basically then have the VCO mix kind of set to close to the low mix. Sustain is off. The attack is very, very low. LFO wave is actually a square wave, and the LFO is all the way to the left-hand side, and the gate is almost all the way to the right-hand side. So then the glide is pretty much to the left-hand side. And the mod source is the LFO. So what this created was like a very prog rock kind of Keith Emerson 70s sound that you would hear coming from any other progressive bands that we love. And so that's kind of like our focus. And the Mother 32 allows you to get there. It seems to have a lot of the bones of the old modular stuff, even though the GrandMother gets all the press on that. The GrandMother, we're actually using the advanced clock out of the DFAM into the gate in on the GrandMother. And then we're using the spring reverb, and we're actually wired up the high pass filter, which is not normally in the signal path. You have to actually connect it. And then we have an attenuverter also controlling the waveforms coming out of the oscillators so that we get a little more control over it. And then we're using a sample and hold circuit that we bring in, and we're bringing in a signal off of the actual DFAM into the sample and hold. So that's pretty interesting what we're able to do with this song. And then the whole idea of this song is Josephine's into this oral fetish, and she's overdosing on it, and she's basically saying she's the queen of anything oral, sensual passion. And that's what this song is totally about, her just going totally into her kind of sexual freedom zone and just doing whatever she wants. Her voice is courtesy of the Roland Vocal Transformer VT4. We used to use a VT3. One of the cool features of the VT4 is polyphonic up to 4 notes if you connect it to a MIDI keyboard. It has a harmony capability, which allows her voice to be a lot deeper. In combination with our stereo electronics microphone and the MX1 performance mixer, we're able to get her range to be very varied in her voice, to have different feels with every song we approach it. And it's interesting, Moog has come out with their classic 16-channel vocoder. We've been using vocoders for a very long time, and I mean that would be a great investment, but it's a $5,000 machine. We'd probably be more leaning toward a Moog 1 than to spend that much money, since we do have VT4, VT3, and a JDXI. And we've been playing with actually using the VT4 and having it controlled by the GrandMother. And we have a couple of songs that we did that with, and we like the results. Though the results with the polyphonic Juno GI have been very well received, and we have a couple of songs here that we actually did that. So we actually had a song on this playlist that we actually did that. Intangible Fetish, we did that, and we did it with also 800K Fake Fader. Now, 800K Fake Fader is kind of a diss track. This is somebody we used to know that we felt took advantage of us, and it's kind of our retribution song. So we kind of do that from time to time. You know, anybody in music, you know, if you go back to Carly Simon and You're So Vain, it's kind of, and if you look at Taylor Swift, she's always kind of somewhat name checking her former passion partners. So that's typical in music. We do that. And then Intangible Fetish is just a total rock out that we created, a very powerful kind of rock drum beat with the Beat Step Pro and the JDXI. And then it's the guitar going through our MX1 performance mixer with the Juno GI setting on the guitar. And then there's an interesting modular bass notes being done that kind of set up the bass patterns coming from the GrandMother and the Mother 32 and the DFAM. So we've been using all these tools together, and we really like the effect of what we've been able to do. And hope you like the song. If you like what you hear, think about becoming a sponsor of the program. We do know that it probably is hard to become a sponsor because the sponsorship wants you to sign up for like monthly sponsorship. We've been trying to see if we can get Anchor to actually do it as a one-time, which we think would be more effective and get more people to actually sponsor. But I know this is probably a hardship, but if you just want to contribute 99 cents, you can do it, and then you cancel after like you do the first contribution. Then you don't have to continue. So that'd be one way of doing it until they figure out how to set it up to make it more likely for you to actually contribute. So we'll talk to you later. You also can talk to the ghost. There's a link if you want to talk to us privately. There's a link to set that up. There's a charge applies, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you very much.
Overexposure.
This is Fam Electric Ghost, and we're talking about a new song we added to the episode, Sonic Exposure, Overdose TF, and other Sordid Tales. We wrote a song today called Friends with Benefits, New Wave, where Josephine Electric, my alter ego, is talking about that kind of social situation where your friend becomes your lover or your lover becomes your friend. And she's just really getting into the heavy distortion of our modes. We've been using our modes to do very aggressive industrial metal, grungy, punk-inspired, punk aesthetic trip wave or trash wave. We actually called the song Trash Wave when we did Refuse Can Heart, which is our biggest song ever. We hit over 28,000 plays on SoundCloud with that song. And that introduced our style that we call Trash Wave. And Trash Wave is basically synonymous with doing a punk aesthetic when it comes to playing synthesizer music. We play real, rather than unreal, hardware synths. We play Moogs, such as the Mother 32, the drummer from Another Mother, and the GrandMother. And then we also have our Rolands, our JDXI, our System 1M, and our Juno GI. Plus our Roland vocoders, the VT3 and VT4 vocal transformers. On top of that, we also have an Arturia Mainbrew 2S, which is a full analog 2 oscillator synth with 2 LFOs. And we use the Make Noise Morphogen Sampler Eurorack module and the Maths Utility module, which allows you to do exponential and logarithmic processing of controlled voltage signals. So the song Friends with Benefit New Wave is the second version of the song, where we had originally done it. We were pretty loud with our synths, and we found that our modes were a little too loud in the mix, so we remixed it, and that's kind of cool what you can do we do hardware recordings using our Zoom R24 digital recorder. So we just went back and remastered it and lowered the volume of the first of the tracks 1 and 2 that have the Moogs on it. Now, those tracks actually are multiple tracks recording onto two stereo tracks. What we tend to do is we use our System 1M mixer to get the levels of certain instruments right. So we had the level of our Mother 32 on one channel. We had the level of the GrandMother on another channel, the level of the Juno GI, and the System 1M also on channels. There is a System 1M in these songs. A lot of the songs I've probably not talked about. How the Roland System 1M, which is an analog behavioral modeling synth, has a lot of capability to sound as good as any analog synth. And I think a lot of people, especially like people who've been like really supportive of Behringer, kind of berate Roland. But I would say that the System 1M and the System 8 are fantastic sound creation tools, as good as anything you could get. They have a lot of capability. The System 1M, I actually use it connected to an Arturia BeatStep Pro, which allows me to kind of do non-keyboard type of processing of the music or creation of music, because I'm using a non-traditional MIDI system such as the BeatStep Pro. I'm able to kind of do strange sequences, and sometimes I do live tracks where I'll just leave a channel open and actually use the pads on the BeatStep Pro to trigger the sounds on the actual System 1M. And the LFO, the Roland LFO on this thing is really powerful. And it's got the slider type envelopes. And it's got a low pass and a high pass filter, which are classic Roland. It's got, a lot of capability to actually create very interesting, sequences without even running a sequencer. You can just use the LFOs to create very interesting sequences. And I've done that a lot on all these songs, and including Friends with Benefits. There's a little bit of a current going on there in tracks 1 and 2. There's the System 1M, and then there's the Roland. Triggering the Roland Juno GI is triggering the Moog Mother 32, which is also using the technique of using the mass module to add additional LFOs to the signal. And we find that the Mother 32 has been our kind of go-to analog synth since we bought it back in 2017. It allows us to do a lot of interesting lead and bass sounds. Even though we've gotten the GrandMother, we've tended to use the GrandMother to create rhythmic sequences, which is very powerful sequencer. It's 256-step sequencer. It's very easy to use. And you're able to just create sequences, and then you can use the DFAM. We use the advanced clock out of the DFAM, and then we'll actually take the velocity and the pitch out and bring them into the GrandMother, usually into oscillator 2. Use oscillator sync, and we also have been using the sample and hold circuit on the GrandMother, along with the envelope on the filter, which is the low pass ladder filter, to do very interesting kind of. If you're a fan of Pete Townsend and you know the songs of Relay and Who Are You, you can kind of understand the kind of up and down sound that you get. It's kind of like from going from one interval to the next, kind of bouncing around. The sound that you get by using, the classic use of the ARP 2600 and its sample and hold circuit. People did that, and also the envelope follower, which we don't have that. But the envelope and the sample and hold circuit on the GrandMother can do like ARP 2600 like stuff, and we've been doing that for the last couple of songs, and we've been very interested and excited about what you can do with it. Out of all the Behringer products we've been looking at, the two we really looking at is like the CS80 clone, which is it would be amazing, and then the thing that really looks interesting is the ARP 2600. Now, the one thing is I kind of lean toward, if I had the money, the Korg version, just because I like the heft and the spacing of the original ARP 2600. Its ergonomic design is impeccable, and in having the space to feel all those sliders in the right human factors is very important. I understand the desktop version that Behringer is doing is going to be more affordable, and it's not terrible, but it doesn't have the real spring reverb, doesn't have the keyboard, doesn't have the sequencer. And there's something about the actual speakers and having the ability to have everything spaced out in the original kind of design. And, aesthetically, I like, I'm an old school guy. I'm in my 50s. So I like the look of the 2600. I like what it represents, what Pete Townsend did with it on Relay and Who Are You, what what Edgar Winter Group did with Frankenstein, and They Only Come Out at Night, what Stevie Wonder used to do with it. There's something about the original form of it that's very impressive. Though, I would admit that if there's a $100 version versus like a $3,500 version, the Behringer one is probably something I'm going to look at. Probably the only Behringer thing I get this year would be that, unless the CS80 comes out, because the CS80 is just a sound design freak. But again, Friends with Benefits is a new wave, kind of inspired punk beat. It's got a heavy processed, well, not heavily processed, but affected by the Mass module. The Mass Utility module from Make Noise is one of the greatest Eurorack modules ever built. It adds a lot of kind of guttural sound to what we do. We love the kind of really, I don't know, you can only say it's heavy. It's like a heavy guitar. It's like a distortion pedal for your synth, and it's able to create this really fuzz tone, dirty sound that we've been using a lot. And Friends with Benefit is a dirty song about Josephine getting it on with anybody she wants to get it on with, however she wants to do it, whenever she wants to do it, and that's the way she plays. And she's a representation of my libido. And it may be oversexed, but I'm oversexed. So anybody wants to say she's an exaggeration, well, it's me. It's a female part of me, and I would do the same thing as Josephine as I do as a man. And so I don't think there's any problem with her being that way. People want to label her one way or the other and don't like it. Her attitude, or think she's like, somebody's pushing it too far. Well, she's going to push it as far as she can because she's already dead. So there's no real regret. And anything she does, she can kind of overdo it. And it's kind of like excess is best. That's where she lives. Now, her character sometimes shows some thinking about what's going on and consequences of her actions, but there's no real consequence other than her feelings. Because she still lives in the netherworld between death and life. She can be hurt by mortals. She can be hurt socially in interactions through relationships. And so sometimes her tendency is to kind of over-exaggerate her sexuality to kind of show that she doesn't care. But if you really think about Josephine's songs, some of the songs we've done, it shows that she does really care. And she does get hurt, and her feelings can get frayed, and she can feel in a melancholy mode. And so these songs that we have here, the one that probably talks about that the most is 800K Fake Fader, which is her kind of diss track on a failed relationship. And then Overdose TF is just her in a total oral fetish dominatrix mode. It's proven that she can be as heavy into Deep Throat as anybody ever on the planet. So if you're offended by any of this, please understand, like by Sordid Tales, that's what we're talking about. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. Please don't block us because of our material. We're experimental artists. We experiment with a lot of things. We experiment with sexuality. The idea that Josephine Electric, is the lead singer of this band. I am Josephine Electric. I'm a man, but I'm showing my female side through my character. And I've developed her over the last 3 years. If it's not, it doesn't float your boat, you don't like it, that's fine. But please don't block us on social media or try to report us for something. We're just being our artists, We're just being an artist about what we're doing. And I hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll talk to you later.
What fade, dear. Guess, see you later. You're faker. I guess you met your maker. I hate you. Definition faker. Never see you later. Wrapped up in the hate, dear. That's why you got a lot to fear. Destination hate, dear. You showed up late, dear. No, you don't have to hear. But you got a sort of fear. Definition faker. Never see you later. It's all about the hate, dear. That's 1 point so clear. Baker, never see you later. All about the hate, dear. Now you wrapped up tight, that's clear. On your home, on your very soul. Never know, no. Gonna feel the bone. Definition ain't there. No, you're No.